What's going down, DGens? Here we are. Finally, we have made it to the NFL season. Good way to start it, too. 2-0 on the picks for preseason week 1 so far. There is one more pick that's actually in the book if you want to grab it for this week. It's still 99 cents. You might as well go grab it. One win, and you're going to more than pay for it, right? Assuming you're paying more than $1 a play. But that is coming up soon as far as the play. It's going to be over at the end of this week. Obviously, there's more every single week in the book if you want to grab it. But today, what we're going to be talking about on the video is the Madden algorithm, as we have been doing. I'm trying to cover as many games as I can where I see some value and maybe some different ways to play week 1. This one in particular, the game that I want to go over is this Packers-Vikings game. And this one I have a play that I want to give you guys, but I also have a question because it's going to impact how we move forward. So as far as the preseason recap, the two plays that we had were the Steelers, which we went over last week. It was the Steelers plus 2.5 at kickoff, which is obviously covered because they won. They blew them out. No issues there. And I saw a lot of people trying to hop on the Packers in the last couple minutes because they were playing all these starters. Didn't matter. Titans was the other one, and I gave a whole video to you guys about why the Titans would be favored and why everything pointed towards the Titans, and they covered as well. That one was a lot closer, but either way, they covered. Some trends to monitor for the preseason, at least for the rest of this week, and obviously going into next week. We are seeing a lot of unders. And one thing that I have noticed in prior preseasons is that this first week kind of sets the tone, and then the rest of the preseason really just follows suit. So there was not last year, the year before, there was a lot of overs at week 1, and I think the rest of the preseason ended up being like 70% over, 68% over, something like that. Last year, we saw the flip. We saw 70% unders. A lot of games are going under starting in week 1. And this is what we're seeing now. So I am assuming that trend's going to continue. Obviously, it's a trend, so take it for what it's worth. But it's something to keep an eye on. Also, we have a lot of dogs that are winning. Actually, the only favorite that won so far was the Titans. All the other games were the dogs. So keep an eye on that. That's a little bit harder to handicap moving forward because it really depends on coaching, of course, as we always preach around here. But let's get into the Packers-Vikings for the Madden algorithm. So I did want to show you guys just a little bit because I know we're always talking about this, and you guys are probably like, oh, it's great. Put a bunch of numbers on the screen. Who knows what the hell he's talking about? There is a coefficient here, and I will tell you the only one that is different, I'm going to change it right now, is this home field advantage. I really rarely give anything more than a point for home field advantage. There's certain scenarios that are worth more, like Denver early in the season, Seattle late in the season. But for the most part, it's pretty much 1 point for home field advantage. The other coefficients here, this is how much that particular position is worth, right? So quarterbacks are worth 0.23. So every point that you are above your opponent, you should be relating that to about 0.23 points on the actual scoreboard or on the spread. The probability portion of it is a probability of it not making an impact, right? So the quarterbacks, obviously, that's going to essentially, yes, that's going to be an impact. There's a 0.0001% chance of it not making an impact. The one that's going to be a little bit more aggressive here, stringent, is like starting field position. That's something that if you really wanted to follow this Madden algorithm throughout the entire season, you eventually have to put into the algorithm after, I believe it's week 4 or 5. We're not going to go that far. If you're not familiar with the channel, we only do the Madden algorithm for the first 3 weeks of the season because that's when it's most effective. And it's also when we don't have to put so many different factors in here to make it somewhat, measurable. So just want to give you guys a look at this so you know kind of more or less what's going in into the algorithm and how much certain positions are being factored in. So as far as the Packers, even with Kyler Murray, Madden does have the Packers with a pretty substantial edge on quarterback. They're telling you Jordan Love is 11 points better than Kyler Murray, which, like we said, double 0.23 gives us an advantage there. The offense, they have this one leaning to the Vikings, which makes sense because they have more star players, right? Like in Justin Jefferson, even Addison, honestly. Those players are going to factor in more compared to like the Packers skill players. And then lastly, defense, essentially it's a stalemate on defense. So the difference here, the difference maker really comes down to quarterback because the offense, yeah, it leans towards the Vikings, but obviously you can't run an offense without your quarterback. So the Packers are going to get the nod. Now, that being said, the Madden algorithm projects this game as that the Packers should be favorites of 1.32 points. Currently, they're actually the dog in this game. They're 1 point dogs. Now, it's not a key number, right? The one is not a key number, zero is not a key number, but it's of course a huge shift to go from being the dog to the favorite. So that's something we have to take into account. And the question I had for you on this one is how would you prefer to play this? Because in my opinion, the best route of playing this game my best route would be to just put it in a teaser. Now, if you want to put it in a teaser, you got to tease it with something else. But this gets you through the 3 and it gets you to the 7. So it's not officially a long teaser because the long teaser has to go through the 7, but it's going to get you to the 7 so that we at least get a push at worst. And like I said, in this case, I find that it's even more valuable because you're going to give me +7 on a team that I really think should probably be the favorite and not the 1 point dog. So would you rather play it like that, or would you rather just play it outright on the money line? Because in this case, if they're going to win, which is the saying they are, then they should just outright win, whether it's by 1 or 3 or whatever. So how would you prefer to play that? I can tell you that's what I'm doing is I'm going to be teasing it. Specifically, I'm actually going to be teasing it to the Lions for week 1. Now, why am I saying the Lions? Two things I need to note about this. Number one, the Madden algorithm officially had the Lions as really not the pick, I should say. They had the value in the Saints because the algorithm says the Saints should be 5.7 point dogs, which means that the +7 you're getting right now would make them more valuable, right? So it's saying that they should lose by less than a touchdown. You're getting a full touchdown. That being said, though, this is something that I still need to go back and tweak because both teams have actually had quite a few injuries. The Lions are dealing with injuries to their offensive lineman, their center specifically, and they're also having some issues with their secondary. Armstead had that whole, court issue, kidnapping, whatever it was. He's no longer on the team. He's actually with the Seahawks, in case you're wondering, which I'm surprised anybody picked him up. That also goes to the Saints, though, because the Saints are having some issues with their defensive line. I believe they've had some secondary issues. And then for sure now we are getting word that Tyson Jordan is going to be missing some time. They did not specifically say week 1, but I'm kind of interpreting all these little bits I'm getting here is that it would be somewhat of a long shot for him to be there for week 1. So we have to go back and adjust these. This is going to be an ongoing issue. Even with all these adjustments, though, worst case scenario, I think the Lions are maybe just a little bit too, the books have them a little too favored, right? So instead of 7, maybe it should be 6. Maybe it should be 5.5, but probably 6 to me, and then that's closer to the key number. Either way, though, if we can tease this with the Packers, we're going to be getting the team that we believe and agree should be the favorite, but are maybe just not that big of an advantage over their opponent. So taking them down from 7 to 1, and we're getting the opposite from the Packers. So we're still getting the team that we think should be favorited. We're just saying they may not win by the full touchdown. Let's get it down to 1, and then we're going to pair that up with the team that we think should be the favorite and is not. So that's how I'm playing this. Just leave in the comments below if that's how you would play it. Do you feel comfortable with teasers? Do you like teasers? How much are they costing you where you're at? Because the books I'm using, Bovada and GTBets, which you can get in the link below, they're still offering, -120 for these. Some of these places are getting a little nuts. It's like -125, -140 even. Definitely would not touch it if that's the case. But yeah, take a look at it. Take a look at the links. Sign up, if nothing else, to at least look at what they're offering and the lines that are out there, because these are going to be something that you can use moving forward if you're not already doing so and still get a decent enough number at it. Either way, guys, I appreciate the time. Thank you for taking a look at this. I hope this was at least insightful, and I'll speak with y'all soon. Have a great week and hopefully win some money.